Sarah, we need to talk about this.
I don't understand what's happening. This affects all of us.
The funeral flowers hadn't even wilted when they came for her. Sarah sat in her mother-in-law's empty bedroom, still smelling faintly of lavender oil and antiseptic, when Marcus arrived with his sister Jennifer. Their faces were carved from stone. "We need to talk about Mom's death," Marcus said, not meeting her eyes. 10 years. Sarah had given 10 years to Margaret Chen, bathing her, feeding her, turning her every 2 hours to prevent bed sores. 10 years of canceled plans, sleepless nights, and watching her own dreams shrink to fit inside the 4 walls of a sick room. She'd done it out of love for David, her husband, who worked double shifts to pay the medical bills that insurance wouldn't cover. "The inheritance," Jennifer said coldly. "It's convenient, isn't it? Mom dies right before changing her will back." Sarah's hands trembled. "What are you saying?" "We found her medication routine." Marcus pulled out his phone. "You were in charge of everything, and suddenly she's gone? We're calling the police." The investigation lasted 3 weeks. 3 weeks of whispers at the grocery store, of David's family group chat that she'd been removed from, of her own mother calling in tears asking if the accusations were true. The detective assigned to the case was kind but thorough. He'd seen families tear each other apart over less. Sarah handed over every record she'd kept, every medication log, every doctor's appointment, every notation in her careful handwriting. 2 a.m., difficult breathing, called Dr. Patel. 6:15 a.m., ate half serving of oatmeal. 10:30 a.m., smiled when I showed her David's photo. "Why such detailed records?" the detective asked. "Because I loved her," Sarah said simply. "I wanted to be able to tell her grandchildren exactly how she spent her final years, that she wasn't alone, that she was cherished." The toxicology report came back clean. Margaret had died of congestive heart failure, exactly what her doctors had expected for 2 years. The medical examiner called it a peaceful passing, well managed with proper palliative care. But vindication felt hollow. The real story emerged slowly, painfully. Margaret's lawyer revealed the truth. She had wanted to change her will, not back, but to leave Sarah a larger share. "She told me," the lawyer said, reading from his notes, "Sarah gave me dignity when I had none left. She deserves everything." Marcus and Jennifer had heard whispers of this intention. Their accusation hadn't been about justice. It had been about fear of losing what they felt entitled to, what they'd never been present enough to earn. David found Sarah in that bedroom again, packing up the last of his mother's things. "They won't apologize," he said quietly. "Marcus and Jennifer, they're too ashamed." Sarah folded one of Margaret's cardigans, soft from 1,000 washings. "I don't need their apology. Your mother knew. That's enough." "It's not enough for me," David's voice cracked. "You gave up everything." "I gave up nothing," Sarah interrupted, her eyes fierce. "Every day I spent with your mother, she told me stories about immigrating here with nothing, about your father, about you as a little boy. She taught me to make proper dumplings. She showed me her garden photos and made me promise to plant peonies." She held up the cardigan. "This is what I have. 10 years of mornings and midnights, of holding her hand through pain, of hearing, 'Thank you, daughter,' in Mandarin." Sarah's voice softened. "They can have the money. I got to keep her." David wrapped his arms around his wife, and they stood together in the empty room where love was measured not in dollars, but in the patient, invisible work of caring for someone until their last breath. Outside, the peonies were beginning to bud.